The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week we're going to actually start off with the village of Honeoye Falls, which I will read the report I got from Rick Milne. He says that this has been a busy week with training and informational events surrounding emergency management programs and emergency management response. One training presentation was the Emergency Management Certification and Training Tier 3, which was basically a lot of information for elected officials and those team members that could fall into the category of support for operations centers and who could serve on logistical teams as well. While Rick had been through this in prior years, with the processes ever changing, it was great for him to sit in on this program with other elected officials, including those from Mendon. On Friday, he attended a very important presentation on the current status of the EMS, that's Emergency Medical Services, throughout Monroe County, across the state and country, as we continue to look for the best ways to support our local EMS agency and our residents. This presentation was crucial. On Thursday afternoon, June 11th, a pretty strong windstorm event came through our community. We did have some power loss, power lines down and tree limbs down. Our thanks to all the emergency services members that supported the emergencies. Also, our thanks to the power companies for their support with this as well. This was a fairly fast-moving and short-termed storm, but it packed a punch. Roads were reopened and power back in short order. We also were happy to utilize our new emergency texting program, and over 800 residents were notified. If you want to sign in, contact the village office for information. Our Good Vibes concert series starts next week. That's Tuesday, June 16th, and we are excited to kick things off with a band that has local ties, John Schaefer, the Movers. Thanks to our great sponsors for this concert series, including Good Vibes Flowing sponsor listing for 2026, would be the Honeoye Falls Mendon Marketplace, McQuillan Manufacturing, Colonial Liquors, Four Seasons Restaurant, Honeoye Falls Pharmacy, Joseph Mitchell Insurance, Dipper Dan, Salvatore's Pizza, Say Cheese Please, Handtech, Springwater Sprouts, Honeoye Falls Foundation, Speed Pro Imaging, and Crafting a Brand. That was from Rick Milne, and now we're going to go over to Tim Schiefen and the town of West Bloomfield. Tim, how's it going there?
Oh, what's wrong in West Bloomfield this month? I don't know. Life is wonderful. Next to Webster, West Bloomfield is a place worth being in, right? We've had a crazy busy month here in town too, or at least I have in my position as supervisor. It seems like I don't get a moment of rest. I've attended 2 cemetery board meetings. I've attended a meeting with our local fire department. Back at the end of May, I marched in all 3 Memorial Day parades, 2 in West Bloomfield, 1 in East Bloomfield. Boy, are my legs tired. And this month, we just had our town board meeting on Wednesday night this week, and we covered a bunch of topics, and I'll bang through them real quick. Fire department concerns. We've been in the news lately with an issue with our West Bloomfield Fire Department. It's very unfortunate, but you know what? It's a wake-up call to many that we as public servants and as representatives of our local departments and so on, we kind of need to remember that we're held to a little higher standard than everybody else, and our conduct, our decisions, our actions are out there in the public realm. And it's very important that we remember that, and we try to keep in mind that how we treat people, what we say to people, what our actions show, sometimes speaks louder than words. So while we're very fortunate that our circumstance here wasn't the result of a tragedy or some atrocity, we are reminded that, hey, maybe we got to take a look at our front porch and sweep it off once in a while. At our town board meeting, we had a nice turnout from our residents. We went down a bunch of topics. One of them is this CGR report I keep talking about. The previous administration commissioned a report on our fire departments, our staffing, their numbers, and so on. And we've reviewed that report. We sat down with both fire departments, Ionia and West Bloomfield. We are also served by Honeoye Falls. However, that wasn't part of our report. Don't ask me why. I would have liked to have known the details about the responses and the calls and all those other factors that are in North Bloomfield, one of our hamlets that's covered by the the Honeoye Falls Fire Department. However, I sat down with the lead members of the West Bloomfield and Ionia Fire Department. These are fellows that I've known for a long, long time. With me was my town board member, Ruth Smith, and we shared a meal. We talked about our growing pains, our needs. We talked about ways we could improve our fire departments, their turnout, their memberships. We also explored ways we can help them. And right along with that, at our town board meeting, we passed a resolution to support the Senate and the state assemblies bills, which are going to hopefully improve these fire departments' lives by reducing some of their taxes and liabilities here in the state because of their status as volunteer firemen. So our town supports that. We want to show that support to our state representatives, and we're really hopeful that some progress can be made, and maybe our local firemen can breathe a little relief because they've already got a pretty full schedule with all they do, their commitment to volunteering in the community, all the other things that the rest of us have to deal with, mortgage payments and children's and soccer games and Little League and all that stuff. There's a lot going on at these young people, and we're blessed to have many of them members of a volunteer fire organization. Our West Bloomfield Town logo is down to 2 finalists. We're asking people to get online, vote on our website, come into the town hall, take a look at the logo. We'd like to get that logo out in use, branded for our town. It's been a long time we had something we could call our own. So we're eager to get that moving on. Another bright spot from our town board meeting is our community focus. Our town has a community newsletter that gets mailed to every rooftop, as well as rural areas. Sometimes we fringe off into other communities. My business gets it. My former address gets it in East Bloomfield, but we try to get that newsletter out, and it talks about all of our community organizations, what's going on. I get a supervisor's column, so I can tell people, much like this show, what's coming, things I've been working on, ideas I've had, interactions I've had with our community. What a tremendous benefit. Much like this platform, it's very difficult to get the word out, and we're still kind of scratching our heads from time to time. Who reads in-print stuff? Who's online? Where do you get your information? It's truly a challenge. I know it's not just me, it's every community. So thank God we got that community focus coming back online. I've previewed it, did a little editing. What a beautiful looking mock-up they've done. We've got color pictures, additional pictures. We've got some fun stuff for the kids. And we've got an article with photos from each of our community organizations. So I'm thrilled to death that it's back. I'm very thankful at those whose diligent efforts have done the legwork to get it back. And we're eager to get it out to our residents and keep that thing coming out on a regular basis. Back to our beat the dead horse, public comment time. Public comment time is critical and very important to me. I feel it's very important to our constituents. We've brought it back. We had 2, one at the beginning, one at the end. That made our meetings last, it seems like, forever. So we only have 1 now at the end of the meeting. If you want to get on the agenda and talk, I'll give you the front row, but you're going to have to call ahead of the meeting. You're going to have to get on the agenda, and I'll make sure you have privilege of the floor at an earlier opportunity. However, this meeting, our public comment time went much better. Unfortunately, I felt it necessary to read the rules of public comment time, which are long and arduous, and I had to remind people, leave your anger at home. I recognize passion. I have passion, and I can see the passion when you're telling me how you feel, and I think that's wonderful. And this public comment time was great. People kept it to the point. People were very polite. There was no uproar. There was no 2-3 trips to the podium. So God bless you, the residents and constituents of West Bloomfield. Thank you for being civil. Thank you for coming forth and speaking your minds. And as many know, my office door is wide open on Monday. I'm often in the office on Fridays, and my cell phone is published in the community focus. Yes, you can call my cell phone. I don't mind. And if you leave a message on my voicemail, I call you back right away. And I've been surprised that people call me and I answer, and they are taken back because they didn't expect a town supervisor to answer the phone. I'll answer the phone. I'm not afraid. I don't care what number's on my caller ID. Call me. I have a dialogue. I'm willing to talk to people. I'm not bashful if you haven't figured that out yet by now. So with that, I'm going to depart. I'm busy trying to get my wife's 1964 Corvair running and functional because my daughter's getting married tomorrow, and it would be great if she could have it for her wedding. It's a surprise. So mum's the word. Let's hope I'm successful. And
All
gosh,
right.
I love her. Thanks, Chris.
Congratulations for that. And you're lucky this is being taped the day before and broadcast the day after. So
Yeah,
it
baby.
will be maintained on our computers. All right. Next, we have Lee Hankins from Rush. He wasn't able to be here today, so he wrote for following in. First, he wanted to thank you. He really appreciates the opportunity to provide a weekly up. Oh, I guess he's thanking us in the sense of he really appreciates this opportunity to provide a weekly update to the Rush community, and he looks forward to meeting with other supervisors, learn what others are doing, and find new ways to bring it back to his town. At the last Rush Town Board meeting, it brought many residents to voice their support of a proposal from the Rush Recreation and Park Association to strengthen their agreement and forever protect our 100 acres nature park. In addition to speakers, the board received 16 letters of support for the association's proposal. This is a parcel of land that was given to our town by the state of New York after the School of Industry closed in 2010. The deed restriction is that the town use this land exclusively for park and recreation purposes. The association started to be stewards of the park in 2019, and they have taken on the responsibility to build the park and care for and protect the land at no cost to Rush taxpayers. The proposal from the Rush Recreation Park Association would update and extend the memorandum of understanding between the town and the association on the care and management of the park. This updated agreement would provide the association with the opportunity to seek grants and create a legacy gift program. They made a strong case that volunteers and donors want to know what the trees they are planting are, and some in honor of loved ones, and that those trees will not be cut down in the future by a new town board. The proposal to include a conservation easement in the deed also is to strengthen the protection of this land from development in the future. While all members of the board said they supported the resolution, it was tabled until our next board meeting to allow our town attorney to answer any questions from the board. A big thank you to the highway department. The potholes in the town have been filled, and Lee has received notes of appreciation from residents. They have local, county, and state roads in our town, so permission or agreements are required for the Rush Town Highway Department to work on a county or state road, and that can take time. Thank you to Rush seniors. They reached out for asking Lee if they could adopt one of the town flower gardens. They selected the entrance to the town pavilion. The flowers are planted and they look beautiful. The board also approved seeking bids to replace old windows in the town hall. Energy efficient windows will help reduce the utility costs for the building and make the work environment better for employees. Lastly, Lee would like to comment on the primary election. He has received emails and calls asking why he has signs out and why he's on the ballot again when he hasn't even completed 6 months in his first term, and why they didn't receive a notice from the Board of Elections like their neighbor did. First, in response, we are a closed primary state, so only voters registered in the Democratic Party can participate. The primary election day is Tuesday, June 23rd, and early voting now underway until Sunday, June 21st. Second, primaries are an opportunity for anyone to run for office. The data shows that less than 20% come out for a primary, so participation is important. One vote can decide who the candidate will be in the fall. Rush has the distinction of being the only town in Monroe County that has a primary race for the position of supervisor. In part, this is because our state is changing the election schedule to move all local elections to even years. As a result, all town supervisors in our counties have a one-year term instead of a two-year term this election cycle, except for the town of Greece that has a four-year term supervisor. Another note of appreciation, our recreation supervisor, Pat Stevens, has decided to withdraw her recent retirement request and continue to work for our town. We are grateful for our ongoing efforts to support recreation activities in our community. And that's it for the town of Rush. Okay, let's go to Tanner Teague. Tanner is batting for Joe Elati today. Tanner, welcome, and tell us what's going on in Mendon.
Good morning and happy Friday, Chris. First off, as you mentioned, my name is Tanner Teague, and I'm a member of the Mendon Town Board. I obviously am not Joe Elati and not the supervisor, but I am excited to provide this week's update for the town of Mendon. Unfortunately, Joe could not be here this week, but he does send his thanks to you, Chris, for hosting this, as well as the town for their continued support. So I'd like to share some of the progress updates describing what we've been doing to ensure that we focus on growing small business, leverage state and federal grants, and ensure Mendon remains a great place to live and work. Along those initiatives, our planning board recently approved an expansion of Pat's Pigs, which is a fantastic local barbecue restaurant here in Mendon. Our town approved funds to develop and submit a grant proposal to study some of the problematic culverts that contribute to some of the flooding that we've seen in recent years. We approved a continuation of the sidewalk construction project along Mile Square Road from the Lehigh Valley Trail to Drumlin View. And we also approved a change in our health insurance broker firms to both save the town taxpayers money while maintaining the exact coverage, or in some cases enhanced coverage for our employees and our retirees. We modernized the procurement policy. This is really key to ensure that our highway department and really all of our town employees are able to get what they need when they need it while maintaining fiscal oversight at the town board level. And then lastly, our board members continue to invest significant time updating manuals, policies, procedures, all of the behind the scenes government work to ensure that the town of Mendon is a safe, healthy, and conducive place for our employees to continue serving the town, its residents, and our business owners. I do want to throw out a reminder that our senior stretch program at the Mendon Community Center is still ongoing. Classes are open to all Mendon-Honeoye Falls residents, ages 55 and up, and it's sponsored by the town, so it's free of charge to the attendees. They're held Tuesdays at 10 a.m. and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Each class is about 30 minutes long, and there's no commitment required. Just drop in whenever you'd like to participate. We do ask that you fill out a one-time release before your first class and sign in for each class that you attend. They're designed to meet almost all skill sets and fitness levels, so if you're 55 or up, come down to the community center on Tuesdays at 10 or Thursdays at 11. And do note that there's no classes June 23rd and June 25th. And that's all I have. Thanks, Chris.
All right. Thanks, Tanner. And thank you all for watching this show. Remember, it airs every Sunday at 1 p.m. on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Like the page or subscribe to the channel, and those platforms will notify you when the broadcast begins. Otherwise, you can read the transcript in next week's paper. That's all for now. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.